Airbnb Orlando, is it worth investing in 2022? Let's find out. So my name is Sills. I'm a licensed realtor here in the Central Florida area. I specialize in Airbnb investment properties. I own, operate, and host them, so I am very familiar of the Airbnb space. So today we want to do a video on, is it worth it to invest in an Airbnb property in the Orlando area for 2022? Airbnb Orlando, is it worth it? So as most of you know, Disney World is the attraction to Orlando, right? Disney World, SeaWorld, Universal, all these different parks are the attraction to the Central Florida area. And a lot of times people will say to me, well, I want to buy an Airbnb investment property closer to Universal or closer to SeaWorld or in Orlando. The fact is, guys, Orlando is not zoned for short-term rental to rent a complete unit by itself out. You could do Airbnb in Orlando itself, but you have to live in the property. Like you have to live in the house or live in the condo or live in the townhome, and then you could rent out rooms or something to that effect. Okay, that's Orlando. And that's where SeaWorld and Universal actually is. Disney World itself is more like in Lake Buena Vista in Kissimmee, and that's where most of the short-term rental properties are that you're able to rent out the entire unit. So in Kissimmee itself, you have Disney World. The whole Disney World is between Kissimmee and Lake Buena Vista, and then the areas that are zoned for short-term rental is going to be Kissimmee, Davenport, Claremont, in certain zip codes, not in all the zip codes, okay? So that's very important to note. In Central Florida, the community that you buy the Airbnb property in has to be zoned that way. It has to be zoned for short-term rental, or the HOA has to allow short-term rental in that community. What's a HOA? A HOA is a homeowners association, that's what it's called. They govern a community. So let's say we had a development called Encore. Could use one called Encore. Let's say Encore, right? So let's say a developer went in and decided, I'm going to develop this community. I'm going to make it gated with 24-hour security. I'm going to put tons of amenities in it, like, you know, a water park, a beachfront pool, a clubhouse, state-of-the-art restaurant, sauna, gym, all this great stuff. And then I'm going to create an HOA body to manage this development. So that's what the Homeowners Association does. So they come together and they create the laws and the bylaws, what's allowed, what's not allowed. Can people paint their house pink or orange, or do they have to follow our color theme? What kind of roof they could have, what's the color of the roof, the doors, what's allowed in the community, what's going to be our quiet time, what's going to be the garbage schedule. All this great stuff. They come together and they create this, right? And then they decide, do we want to make this short-term rental, or do we only want, you know, primary residents living here? Meaning people that are living there, that's going to be for their primary home. Or do we want a mixture of both, right? So these are some of the stuff that is discussed in the HOA that makes it up. Now in Central Florida, the HOA has a lot of power. They do. If you don't pay your HOA fees, they could foreclose on your property. I mean, the bank may not allow it if you have a mortgage on it. The bank would probably step in and pay it, but that's just to give you an idea of the power the HOA has. And I'm giving you this information to let you know, if you bought a property and the HOA does not allow short-term rental, you will not be able to have it there. They're going to win. No matter what attorney you hire, whoever they are, you are not going to win. The only way you would win is if you get everyone, at least 25% of the people in the community, more like 40% of the people in the community, to go on to the annual meeting and actually show up or send their proxy in and actually vote to change that rule. That's the way HOA rules are changed. The problem with that is a lot of people do not go to these HOA meetings. They're too busy, stuff going on. So the HOA get to have their own little rules, and the rules are carried on for generation to generation because enough people do not show up at the annual meetings that they have to change. I don't even know why I'm talking about this, because that is not what the video is supposed to be on. But if you're in an HOA and there are rules that you want to change, the only way to do it is to have 40% or more of the homeowners actually show up to the HOA annual meetings when they have the board of elections and all those stuff meetings, and then you get that change. But back to my topic, which is supposed to be, is it worth investing in 2022? Yes, it is worth investing if you do the correct homework, if you do calculated risk. What are calculated risks? The calculated risk are stuff you can control, right? So some of the stuff you can control to a point is having the home automated. You buy Airbnb investment property, make sure you have cameras on the outsides, right? Make sure you have a smart lock, a smart thermostat. Make sure you have automations on your exterior door. So if the door is open for more than 5 minutes, the air conditioning system will shut itself off. Make sure your pool is automated so you can control if the heat is on, if the heat is not on. I'm from Jamaica, I eat my H's, so I'm really saying HEAT if the heat is on. You can control how long the pool is being run for. You could see all this stuff. Why is that important? Because that has a significant effect on your electric bill. If a guest gets into your home, let's say you're renting out a pool home and there's nice, you have the glass sliding doors, so they slide open the door and they're in and out of the house and they're in the pool area and they're having fun, and then they go back inside and they're like, why is it so hot? So let's say it's a 2-story home. So some people are downstairs, some people are in the pool, some people are upstairs, as an example. The people upstairs, oh my God, it's really hot. Why? Because the sliding doors are open downstairs, but they don't think that. What are they gonna do? They're gonna mess with your thermostat and try to get it down to 65 or as low as they could get it to get some cool here. What is that gonna do on your AC system? It's gonna freeze it. That's what's gonna happen. And it's gonna be an expensive thing to get that repaired. So how do you kill that risk? Making sure that when they open that sliding door downstairs, the AC shuts itself off after 5 minutes and it will not come back on until they close it. Same thing with your game room. Most people convert their garage, the garage of the home, into a game room, right? Some people go really all out with this game room thing, which is fine. But let's say that door that leads from the house into the game room or into the garage, remember the garage is hot. So unless you have air conditioning in the garage, if they open the door and leave it open, normally people have fans or a split AC system in there. But if they leave it open and the AC isn't on, guess what? And you don't have split AC in there, you only have a fan. All that hot air is going to come in the house. So you gotta get that to shut off if they leave that door open, because your electric bill will go up, and nobody wants that, right? Nobody wants to be called, oh, the AC isn't working. Why is it not working? It froze. How did it freeze? Because you had the door open all the time. That's very important. Same thing when it comes to the pool. Let's say you had a guest that checked out today and they had pool heat for like a week. They check out today. But the next guest that's coming in tomorrow, as an example, did not pay for pool heat. You want to make sure that the pool heat is turned off. And let me clarify this, because a lot of the systems in Central Florida have one system that operates the pool and the spa, in case you have a pool spa combination. So what we do is we tell the guests, you got to pay additional costs for the pool, for the heating of the pool and the spa, right? So X amount per night is an additional cost for the heating of the pool and the spa. So if the heat is on, then the pool and the spa is going to operate. What you should not do is tell the guests the spa heat is included, but the pool heat is not. Because if you have one heating system, how are you going to separate that? Unless you're technically at the property to, put it on spa, put the heat on, switch it back to pool, all this stuff. No, you can't automate that. You can't get the system automated. We have someone that does the automation where you can control the pool from an app. So if you want to only operate the spa, you turn the spa, put the heat on the spa. If you want to do the pool, do that. The only thing I'm going to tell you is if you give them the heat just for the spa and you have it on spa setting, the pool is not going to run the next morning because it has to be in the pool setting for the pool to run. Why does the pool need to run? Because if it doesn't run, it's going to get green. The pool got to keep circulating. It operates, maybe you want to make sure the pool is running maybe 5 to 6 hours every day to keep it from getting green and to keep the chemicals from, keep everything going and keep it nice and swimmable, right? That's a good word. Make it swimmable. So that's important, okay? So the whole pool spa thing, that's important. You got to learn that. Sometimes we have people coming down and their pool and spa system that where they live may be different from the systems we have here. Because remember, a lot of these systems are built for temperature, based upon the environment you're in. If you're in New York, they're going to probably have a different system set up in New York than they do in Florida, simply because New York has winter. And they do different things to make sure that things don't freeze during the winter time. So Florida, we have no winter, so that's a whole different story. So bear in mind that different things may not work the same way because of the environment that you're in. Tropical versus up north where it's more colder. So that's going to be super important. So what are some other of the benefits? Well, the biggest benefit is you will have the property appreciated and you still are making money from it by people working in it. So if you held a property for 5 years and you're ready to sell it, guess what? When you're ready to sell it, you're not selling a home. Guess what you're selling? You're selling a business. Because if you had a condo, a townhome, or a home and you owned it and you were doing Airbnb with it, when it's time to sell, you're selling your Airbnb business. So the thing is, if it's really worth, let's say you bought it for $350 and you kept it for 5 years, and this is just an example, guys. I know you're ready to sell it and it's really worth $500. Like the property value itself is $500. That's one price, but now you're gonna price your business itself. So what is your short-term rental part of the business worth? So the person who is, so you want to sell it to another person that's going to be doing it for short-term rental, because they have to see the value. So if I'm buying your home and you're using it for short-term rental, but I just want to buy it to live there, I'm not going to see your value, and I'm not going to pay you what you're asking for because I'm just buying the home. But if you're selling to another investor who wants to have the extra booking, we are saying, hey, we have bookings, we could convey the bookings to you. We have success. We've been doing this for so long, blah blah blah. Then that becomes a different story, and then that's when you're selling the property itself and you're selling the business as well. And Airbnb is very profitable in the Orlando area if they're run correctly. You want to stay on top of property maintenance. You want to make sure your cleaners are doing a good job. You want to make sure you're treating your clients. Take Disney as an example, right? So when people come here, they're looking to have the Disney experience, where Disney will go all out to make sure their guests are comfortable. Now, I'm not saying that you should have the guests take advantage of you, but what I am saying is go the extra mile for your guests if you want to give them a Disney Airbnb short-term rental experience, right? Leave snacks for them and wine and that kind of stuff if they're into that stuff. If you know they're celebrating an occasion, leave something for them for that occasion, because you'll be surprised. And here's what I tell my clients all the time. Because things cannot be perfect, and we know the house will not be perfect, they might come in and something is out of place. They might come in and because the house cleaner was there cleaning, maybe a piece of their hair fell somewhere. Something might happen. You never know. The toilet might get clogged. Something is going to happen. So if you want the guests not to be too upset with you or oh my God, this place just sucks, you want to wow them. So when they first come into the home, when they first check in, you want to wow them. How do you wow them? By leaving stuff for them: water, coffee, tea, snacks, wine, cheese, fruits, anything that, think about this. Have you ever booked a hotel room or booked a resort or booked somewhere and you go in and when you check into your room, they had stuff there waiting for you that you didn't expect? Like maybe they have a plate of fruits and cheese, or they had snacks, or that wasn't charged, right? That was just their complimentary. Even if it was a bottle of water. Imagine checking into a hotel room after a very hot day and you go in and they had 2 complimentary bottles of water waiting for you so you could just drink some water, right? So this is what you want to do if you want your Airbnb to be profitable and beneficial in the Orlando area. You want to wow the guests. Maybe leave them a beautiful postcard or something, right? You want to wow them because in their mind, they're coming to Disney, the land of magic. So they want to be wowed. They expect the unexpected, is what I'm going to say. So if something comes up during their stay, they may not be as upset simply because they were so wooed when they first came in, or when they first checked in. They were so wooed, they were like, oh my gosh. So if you're thinking of making a purchase or invest in Airbnb, we invite you to give us a call. Give us a call, send us a text, 407-791-4713. We do a bunch of Zoom calls all the time with our people looking to invest there, because they're from all over the place. They're not from Central Florida. We may be zooming from England, Canada, maybe Jersey, New York, Connecticut, wherever it is. But we're able to do a Zoom call. We could do a Zoom consultation. We could do a phone call, and you will be able to talk with us, and we could tell you exactly what to look for if you're looking to invest there. I thank you so much for watching this video, and I will see you on the next one. Thanks so much, guys. This is Sandy signing out.